It's great having a classic anime get revived so that a newer generation can enjoy the things I enjoyed as a child. When Dragon Ball Kai came out, it led the way for a whole new generation of Dragon Ball geeks. And I have no doubt in my mind that Sailor Moon Crystal will do the exact same. So to prepare for the upcoming reboot of the premier Magical Girl anime series, let's take a look at the first feature-length film in the series, Promise of the Rose. Now, I'll be a little honest. It's a show I'm very nostalgic about, which is why it pains me to say that this movie is a pile of shit spewed out of Toei Animation's second dirtiest asshole. I say second dirtiest because they couldn't fit both this and Dragon Ball GT out of the same hole. Promise of the Rose opens up with a young Darien, meeting up with his friend for the last time before the pair say their goodbyes. Darien gives his friend a rose, and the useless little elf boy fades off into the wind. Soon after, we're treated to the intro of the movie. Now, this here is a downloaded version of the uncut movie, but the one I physically own is a VHS copy, and it doesn't have this intro. Also, I'm using a downloaded copy because I no longer have a VCR, but then again, who does? The four gals we know and love, and most of us probably used to masturbate to, don't lie, are on a trip along with useless McPink Hair and fuck it, I'm just going to use the Japanese names, I can remember those. The group is meeting up with Mamoru for some reason, they never really do explain why or even where they are, and Usagi's trying to get her freak on with her boyfriend, while the others all watch. Mamo-chan decides shit's a little too whack in there, and with all the peeping Sues in the room, and goes out for some fresh air and to get away from all the weirdness. And it just so happens to start raining flower petals. Yeah, perfectly normal and totally not out of the ordinary. It's like when it rained Marshmallow Peeps last July. Stickiest day of the year aside from International Bukkake Day. The petals are caused by an old friend of Mamo-chan's who looks oddly like Roy from Fire Emblem. And it turns out he's more than just a little protective of his old chum, as he gets pretty pissed when Usagi touches him. Are we sure they were just friends? Because that's not exactly normal behavior for a guy who hasn't seen his pal in a while. I'd usually just give them a hug, but hey, you know, maybe they do things differently from where he's from, you know, maybe rim jobs and butt sex is like a handshake and a pat on the back from whatever part of the galaxy he's from. Roy teleports away and nobody seems to care because teleporting by shonen is pretty typical in early 90s Japan. Later on, the girls are all hanging out at Usagi's place, well, I assume it's Usagi's house, as Rei is seen tucking Rini into bed. Yeah, I use her dub name. Oddly, that's the name I remember. Chibiusa just sounds really odd and nonsensical. Mind you, most things in this show are odd and nonsensical, so it fits just fine. The girls are hanging around nomming pizza while Artemis just uses a computer like a fucking boss. Like, damn, this cat can do pretty much anything. He don't need fingers. Fingers are for pussies. Wait, turns out there's a giant meteorite heading towards the Earth, and it's probably going to be the major plot point of this movie, isn't it? And it's meant to act as a Trojan horse for the villain to mount an assault on Earth, isn't it? And that's also going to be where the final battle happens, isn't it? Damn it, movie, could you at least try to invoke some thought out of me? I understand that Sailor Moon isn't highbrow, thought-provoking shit. Like, I'm not going into this expecting an episode of Charles Adler. But damn it, show, at least try. Okay, turns out the meteor has a large amount of plant life on it. And my god, could they really not think of anything else? Hey guys, what if, and bear with me here, we had plants be the villains? That is genius, simply awe-inspiring. Make it show! The next day comes, and wouldn't you know it, the entire city street is filled with the corpses of innocent people. I hate when that happens. Well, one of them gets up and nabs Minako by her ankle, and the fight begins. And ends in a mere second. Yeah, Rei pretty much just takes them all out with a spell. And not a moment too soon, as the big bad monster of the first act finally shows up. And it's a pasty Nicki Minaj Rose Spider thing. To be fair, the first act is pretty much an episode of the show. I'm really shocked they didn't air it with the show like the first 3 Dragon Ball Z movies did over here. Rainey wakes up Usagi after Usagi shoots Kleenex out her nose into her 8-year-old daughter's face. Yeah, parent of the year. And then she transforms into Sailor Moon and kicks Nicki Minaj's plant ass before Roy has a chance to show up.
Impressive.
He's the villain? I did not see that coming.
As you well know. Who are you?
Who indeed, Artemis? It's the same guy as before, but now he has a topless rose chick on his shirt. Yeah, when I woke up this morning, I didn't think I'd ever say that, but here I am. Well, turns out Roy is really Marth, but Marth doesn't just have a bitching forward air, he's also a goddamn Jedi and force pushes the scouts through nearby store windows. And in just a few seconds, each of them has had their ass kicked, leaving Usagi to have to fuck yes! The manliest of men is here, bitches. Golgo, move the fuck aside. Kenshiro, suck a dick. The real manliest man in anime is here. Tuxedo Mask comes in to save the day like a fucking champ, drink in hand too. You know, sometimes I don't even think he actually intends on being at all the fights. I think he's just on his way or coming back from a really bitchin' party, and just so happens to come across trouble. It would explain why he was drinking, but then again, if I had to deal with Usagi all the time, I'd probably be drinking too. Well, we can at least sort of confirm that she puts out, so it must be worth the effort.
The guy can wear a cape. Woo!
A red rose.
God damn it, Marth.
Darian.
In this form you call him Tuxedo Mask. What the fuck is the point of a secret identity if you can't keep it a fucking secret? Do you want the other supervillains to know? Yuts. And the upcoming conversation is very don't ask, don't tell. Just listen.
Fiore, your heart was pure then, but no longer.
And you swore me eternal friendship, but now you choose this dingbat over me, Darian.
She is my...
Yeah. Sounds like they were a little more than friends. Mamoru tries to talk Marth out of killing Usagi, but Marth won't have it and decides to use his OP F-Air on Sailor Moon, engaging a short little struggle with Tuxedo Mask before he's gravely injured by Marth's claws. Maybe it was in Shadow Dragon, I never did play that one. Marth kidnaps the injured Mamoru and leaves Usagi there to wallow in her tears and sadness. I feel that in the Japanese version this might be a little more touching, but with this dub, well, her tears just sound incredibly phony. I mean, I understand, it was the year 2000, but could they honestly not find a better actress? Minor gripes like that aside, we're soon treated to a flashback of Mamoru receiving news of his parents' deaths, and his meeting of Marth before he wakes up. And the more the two of them talk, the more convinced I am of their homosexuality. I mean, I don't have a problem with them being gay, actually. I'm hoping they do start making out, at least there's something entertaining to watch. After some exposition spewed out by Artemis, the scouts decide to teleport, because I guess they can do that now, onto the meteorite headed towards Earth. While there, they get attacked by another one of those pale-ass plant chicks, but this one seems to come equipped with high-frequency vibration blades. I guess it just needed to use some of the Guyver's weaponry. Let's hope it doesn't use the chest cannon. And after the battle, Marth gives even more exposition. Yeah, the last half of the movie is exposition. I'd even say first half had its fair share too. Then after the exposition we get more stock footage used from the show. Half of this movie is exposition and the other half is stock footage. Why did I like this show when I was younger? Oh, right. Yeah, the miniskirts. During the battle, the pasty pale plant chicks merge to form Voltron. Well, no, that would make sense. Instead, they become a tsunami of pink flowers and crush all the Sailor Scouts with the exception of Usagi. Turns out the Scouts are still kicking, and Marth has them wrapped up in his hentai tentacle plant, given to him by Japanese porn surplus. And just look at Jupiter here. Like, why is she blushing? that planet is probably going all sorts of places I don't want to know of. Or maybe I do want to know of them. I mean, personally, I always preferred Sailor Mars. Marth threatens to kill the scouts, and Usagi forfeits herself to his demands, which results in more hentai-esque moments like this. Yeah, not creepy. At least he's not grabbing her tit. While she's having her juices sucked, probably should rephrase that, Usagi starts having flashbacks of her friends and how they were before and as she met them. To be fair, I think this is a very well done scene, and it just shows how much they mean to her. Something you never really get in a lot of anime, especially children's anime, is the feeling of actual relationships. Despite the awful voice acting in the English dub, the love Usagi has for her friends and the love they have for her, it feels sincere. Not often does an anime portray friendships in a realistic and believable manner. Hell, there isn't even many mature grown-up shows out there, anime or not, that portray friendships this sincere. But the moment is quickly shat on as he drains her of her energy and is about to deliver the final blow. But not before Minako can stop him with her words. 'Cause, you know, I'm pretty sure using that energy chain of hers would be a little more effective. Ray tells him that the flower on his chest will kill him because it's a sentient being that don't give 5 shits about him, and he stupidly shrugs it off like it's nothing. Because, you know, it's totally trustworthy. Yeah, it just looks totally honest and sincere. But, as he's about to deliver the killing strike, he's interrupted yet again. But this time by a rose thrown by Tuxedo Mask, which impales his nipple. Where does he keep those? Does he have them in his pockets? And why do they stick to things? Does he sharpen them? Like, he must have a majorly strong baseball arm to, like... They go through stone, they go through steel, it went through skin. How the fuck do you sharpen a rose to go through skin? By being Tuxedo fucking Mask. That's how. With Marth and the titty flower's strength fading, the flowers on the meteorite can no longer sustain themselves, and start to fade away. Thus begins the final battle, and it's pretty long, boring, and anticlimactic. But Marth's a sore loser, and the core of the meteorite is set to explode. Somehow. Even stranger is Usagi still has the strength to get up, despite all her strength being sapped from her. She decides to take drastic measures and opts to use the moon crystal's power to beat the blossom. Unfortunately, the moon crystal will kill. Bad touch, no abort, she needs an adult, a second adult, he is copping a feel. Usagi's young teenage boobs are so amazing that they blind Marth and give him a vision of Usagi and Mamoru's first encounter. And in a cute moment, Usagi hands Mamoru a rose. This is a table. It's been flipped. God damn it, movie, you fucking planned this. The rose that Usagi gives to Mamoru is the exact fucking rose that Mamoru gives to Marth. Fuck you, movie, that is clever, actually. He's so protective of Mamoru because Mamoru treated him kindly and gave him a rose, the only gift that Marth has ever gotten. But the rose that Marth was so goddamn protective over was actually a gift from Usagi. Thus meaning, Mamoru's an asshole to give away a gift. Seriously, who fucking does that? Marth and the titty flower die from the sheer boobage, and Usagi transforms into her Queen Serenity form in an attempt to stop the meteorite from destroying Earth. Long story short, Sailor Moon saves the day, dies, and Marth gives her his life before somersaulting through the cosmos in a bubble. I feel really nostalgic about this movie. I watched it about 18 times, and I mean, just in preparation for this review, and I loved it each and every time. But it's awkwardly paced, poorly voiced, poorly executed, and just overall not very good. See, this show, it stripped me of all my criticisms. All the good, bad things I could say about it are gone. It's just so goddamn average. I can't be too brutal, but at the same time I don't want to say it's good because it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I mean, I watched this movie 18 times in a week. Okay, like 18, that's a lot. And you want to know what the worst part is? There's a sequel. We're gonna get to that. I mean, might as well review that, as might as well review its sequel, which I shall review once I know if I still own it. I'll see you then.